Hello. I don't exactly know how the audio will sound on this. This is video 822. I'm going to get real close to the camera. My cats, my sons, my beloved children have destroyed my headset. That's what cats do. They chew on things, I guess. But I wanted to make a quick video. Um, Earlier today, the Kentucky legislature um, overrode the governor's veto of a fairness in girls' sports bill, and it's kind of bummed me out, as you might expect. Now I live in Indiana, and Kentucky currently has a Democratic governor who vetoed it, who said no, this is unfair against trans children. I'm not going to support it, and he vetoed it, and state legislature overrid him and celebrated about it. It wasn't a close vote. It wasn't like this is an issue we're going to talk about, blah, blah, blah. It was a landslide, you know. And I guess lately I've taken the fairness in sports as just kind of being a anti-trans hate bill, you know. Uh, People have found um, a cause that they can just pump their own hate and xenophobia into, transphobia, and or something else. The same way they do the same thing with religious freedom. Um, and I'm kind of worried that our governor will do the same thing. Well, our governor would actually vote for it, but it disenfranchises, it dehumanizes, and invalidates transgender children, but by association, transgender adults. You know, if you're transgender girls, I know some people don't like when a transgender, and I'm afraid I'm not up on my English, but transgender is used as an adjective, not a noun. But anyway, sorry, derailed myself. Happens when you get older. Um, Darn it, that happens too. Oh, I forgot it. Transgender. Oh, if a trans girl is not girl enough to be a girl, then a trans woman is not woman enough to be a woman. You know, so it is a rejection of, in my mind at least, being transgender. It has nothing to do with sports or fairness to girls or whatnot. And I've already done videos on that, so I don't really want to go into that. You can watch those. Nothing has changed since then, I guess I should say. But it just is so demoralizing. And I don't want to say that Kentucky hates trans people, because I don't think that's true. I just think there's a minority in power that hate trans people, as symbols of something else, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, obviously the representatives in the legislature got there. They were elected by members of the state. So the people, you know, they they do this to appease their base, and I guess they get reelected. So it's like, well, it's the people that don't. I guess it's one of those Venn diagrams you'd have to draw, and you'd have a circle that was, Kentucky Republicans and Kentucky Christians and whatever else. But it's amazing how, and they shot down abortion too as well. The governor vetoed, and I made mention of this before. And I'm not the original person of this. I heard Pete Buttigieg say it, but the Republicans, I'm going to leave my glasses off. Sorry, I much prefer to have my glasses on than off, but I'm so close up to the camera I can't see with my glasses on. The Republicans as a whole right now, they don't have anything to offer. I mean, they haven't, even when the last guy was in office, other than, give tax breaks to wealthy white people. They didn't do anything. There's no accomplishments. There's nothing in their bag to say, look at me, I'm Senator Scratch and Sniff, and look what I did for you. You know, so the only thing they can do is play upon their constituents' fears, and of course, trans folk are the boogeymen. Boogie women, boogeymen, and so it works. It works. You can have a person who disagrees with the Republican on just about everything, but the Republican will say, well, I'm pro-life, and if you vote for so-and-so, that means you're for killing babies, and you love babies, don't you? And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right, I do love babies. Totally neglecting that the Republican is going to take away, WIC benefits for mothers. It's going to take away unemployment for mothers and fathers, and stuff for the state. It's going to do away with reduced or free school lunches that are going to affect children. It's just a sneaky thing. Or in the case of our last president, don't you love America? We want to make America great again, don't we? Well, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to make America great again. But what are you going to do? I'm going to make America great again. And it just, I don't know, it seems like to me that for the last however long, the Republicans just have not had a plan. You ask a Democrat, what are they going to do? And they'll say, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z, and then order 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to pay for it, PDQ, and do, milestones, timetables, but anyway, but like I said, it's hard. It's hard. And again, the transgender youth, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get used to that. Not say trans youth, not say trans men, trans women, transgender men, transgender women, transgender children. We're just left hanging. And it's frustrating because nothing's going to get done about it. We're not the burning issue in the room. And I can't even tell you what is. A year or two ago, it was race, Black Lives Matter. We had here in Louisville, we had Breonna Taylor got executed, murdered by police officers, and nothing happened. That was kind of last year's thing, and now, yes, pandemic bad, yes, war in Ukraine bad, but we're just not important enough, and maybe that is, that's probably what is bothering me, and we're definitely the caboose as far as LGBTQIA plus stuff goes. I mean, if there was a bill that said, gays can't compete in sports, people would go apeshit. And you'd have marches on Washington. Or if they said women can't play the cello anymore. Women can't own stock in companies or something. You know, the National Organization of Women would go nuts, you know. And for us, it's just nothing, you know. The president says he has our back, but I wrote him a letter today. I wrote in a letter and I asked if states that pass transgender youth, sorry, I'll get it eventually. I asked if if the federal government would stop funding them per Title IX. You know, if you're not going to follow the rules, you know, the federal government maybe needs to stop sending money to the states. You know, well, I'd like to help you out, but per the Department of Education, per the Department of Justice, you're in violation of Title IX. I can't send you any money. You know, I don't know how fair that is, but without any legislation, I just don't see it changing. And you know, there's too many Republican senators right now, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Republican senators. They're just people that don't support transgender. We could just say that, and probably sell themselves as being anti-trans, and that's how they get votes. So I mean, it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And yes, I can go to work tomorrow and do my job. I mean, it's not the same thing as, well, it could be though. It could be though. I don't know. I don't know, babies. But it definitely took the wind out of my sails tonight. And I don't even live in Kentucky. But you know, it's 14 or 15 states so far this year. I mean, we're 4 months into the year. What is that? 14? Well, if it was 12, it would be 3. That's probably something like 3.5 or 3.3. Actually, it would be 3.25. You know, 3.25 anti-trans bills get passed every month this year. There's only 50 states, you know. But anyway, nothing new. I know that I really do believe eventually it'll happen. It'll get caught up, you know. Even if just in name only, you know. There's still women that are discriminated against. You have the pay gap, you know. So no, men and women are not treated equally, and unfortunately, people of color are not treated with equity, and we're not. So, you know, hopefully, eventually, we will. Um, I read today. I believe I'm gonna say, what's her name? Not Diane Rehm. That was an NPR host. One of the transgender senators, or congressperson, I should say, talked about she's been reelected twice, or she was elected and then reelected. She's up for election again. And, you know, every year there's a chance more and more people will get elected. And, you know, we just have to let it happen, I guess. But anyway, I'm